Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest tonight is CNN's chief Washington correspondent. He anchors The Lead weekdays at 4 p.m. and co-anchors State of the Union with Jake Tapper and Dana Bash Sundays at 9 a.m. Please welcome back to the show our friend Jake Tapper, everybody. My friend, how are you?
I'm good. I enjoyed the vice presidential debate you just did.
Well, you moderated a debate or two.
I did. Fewer fart jokes.
Yeah, fart jokes with you.
In ours.
It seems like a very long time ago, and it really wasn't a long time ago.
June 27th.
June 27th, you and Dana Bash moderated the first and only Biden-Trump debate of this election cycle.
Yes, the last.
The last one. Joe Biden's final debate.
Ever.
Yeah. Now, I think to a lot of viewers, it became clear early on that it wasn't maybe going to be President Biden's best night. As a moderator, were you clocking that as well?
It was something to behold.
Yeah.
It was, we had these little iPads in front so that we could communicate with the control room.
Right, of course.
And, within the first few minutes, I wrote, "Holy smokes."
Yeah.
I didn't know who was going to be back in the control room. I had to keep it clean.
Yeah. Holy smokes is, I think, a good, good baseline way to describe what was happening.
I think that was kind of the national reaction.
Yeah. And then I still think people maybe didn't right away expect that he would drop out. He did. Kamala Harris joined, a big polling shift towards her, but really, since then, it's sort of evened out.
Yeah.
Do you think that is a case of just how polarized this country is right now?
I think so. I mean, she has, whatever chasm there was in polling, she has made it up. So it is pretty much neck and neck. And everyone in the battleground states says, that I talked to, says it's just a margin of error race. I do think that there's a degree to which they are both running campaigns as if they are 10 points ahead. They're both kind of running cautious-ish campaigns. I mean, there's still the cats and dogs eating thing.
Yeah.
But
not the most cautious comment.
I'm just not, there aren't a lot of...
That is but isn't that interesting that we say they're both being cautious, and yet it does show you where their different bars are, because this is the least cautious. Maybe it's more cautious than what we expect of Donald Trump, but it would still be the least cautious campaign anyone else has ever run.
I guess I'm distinguishing between the campaign and the candidate.
Sure, yeah.
The campaign is relatively cautious.
Yeah.
The candidate is,
Yeah. Yeah, he's on his own, man. He's out there.
He's doing his thing.
I'm wondering, as someone who covers these things, it's also been a much shorter election cycle.
Yeah.
Yet, I certainly as a voter, I feel like I've gotten the full breadth of things. I don't mind that it's only been, 100 days versus a year and a half. But you do it for, a business. Do you feel like we've gotten less from how short it's been, or do you think this is actually a healthy
I'm
amount
torn.
of time? Yeah.
As a human being, I enjoy the briefer campaign.
Allow yourself to be human, Jake. Embrace your humanity.
As a journalist, I mean, I do think that there's a lot more that we could be doing in terms of town halls and interviews and, voters getting to weigh in.
Right.
There really wasn't a lot of that
Certainly,
on the Democratic
side. Yes, the primary process was, absent for Democratic voters.
Right. She didn't actually have to campaign for the job.
No.
So that's unusual.
It is unusual.
But yeah, I mean, I do like, when they have the snap elections in Europe, and it's always just like...
I'm always super jealous when they do that.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
It's not even, sometimes it's like, we're doing it tomorrow, and you're like, what? And they're like, we did it. Like, with the time difference, you're like, by the time they're doing it, it's over.
As a person, yes. As a person.
It's
but
not
as a
terrible.
journalist.
Yeah, as a journalist, yeah. And certainly you could say that the Democratic process was less democratic because there was not a primary process.
In the sense that nobody actually voted for her, yes.
Yeah, I mean, which I guess, if you're going to really drill down, that is what democracy is. Yeah.
It's a technicality, I suppose.
Yeah, or a dictionary definition. We have, obviously, right now, sending our thoughts and prayers to the people in, Florida. It does seem like this, if there was ever a time for everybody to come together and sort of put politics aside, it would be in the wake of something like this. Of course, that's not happening.
Theoretically, yes.
And yet, giant misinformation campaign, once again, Donald Trump at the front of it. how is it covering a situation like this where it really is important to get the truth to people with in terms of evacuation and how to prepare, and you have an entire political party that is sort of undercutting that?
It's dangerous, really, frankly. I mean, Boris Sanchez is one of our anchors, and he's down there in Florida, lifelong Floridian, covering the hurricane for us. And he just reported on my show that he talked to a woman who was convinced that all of this was a conspiracy because the government had created this hurricane, created it, and was sending it to Florida for political reasons. And you'd think, oh, well, you know, that's really unreasonable, and it is unreasonable. But like literally, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I thought the space lasers were crazy.
I know.
But there was at least a reason behind it.
Right, because at least I know we've built a laser.
Right. There are satellites in space.
We've done, yeah, like there are things we've gotten in space, we've built a laser. Like it's crazy, but you can at least put it together. But like controlling a hurricane.
Yeah.
Where just like somebody's like, zzz,
yeah. You know, you and I both went to the joystick.
We both, yeah. For the kids out there,
in the 1980s.
in the 1980s.
There were these things called Ataris.
I feel like you are now, you are 3 election cycles in, I believe, that you host a show where you see the value of having representatives of both parties on the show.
Yes, it's important.
It's important. And yet, one of the things that probably is frustrating for you is that you often will, read a recent statement by the head of their party, and, senators, representatives have a way of they just evade it, right? No one will actually.
It's evolved. So in 2015, 2016, they would condemn it.
Yeah.
That's not true. I wish he hadn't said that. Then there was the period during his presidency where a lot of Republicans just stopped doing all interviews except for Fox.
Yeah.
And now they have taken on different tacks, different strategies. One of them is the what he meant to say.
Right.
So yeah, no, there aren't a bunch of Haitian migrants eating cats and dogs, but immigration's an issue.
Yeah.
Or just the changing of the subject. Well, he's been saying things like that for a long time.
Right. But I know this as well. I mean, obviously I have less contentious interviews than you're accustomed to on your show, but, you only have so much time. And it does feel like the technique is to sort of rope-a-dope you. At some point, you have to let go and ask about policy, right, for your viewers.
Yeah, I mean, you could do the whole interview on Donald Trump's lies, and sometimes we do, and sometimes other anchors do, but then there are other things that matter as well,
right.
and especially when it comes to things like the economy and hurricanes and issues like that, and it's always just a difficult decision where do you stop?
You'll obviously be working election night, and
yes.
I think it's very safe to say that no matter what the returns are, it's hard to imagine Donald Trump sort of early in the night being like, she got me. Fair is fair.
I think it is fair to say that he will, in all likelihood, declare victory early.
Yes.
I think we know that there are a bunch of states that are not legally allowed to start counting their votes until the polls are closed, like Pennsylvania, where I'm from. And some states just historically take forever, like Arizona. I mean, they just do. But if he is ahead, he will declare victory, and that does not actually mean that he won.
And I guess there must be a great deal of preparation over at CNN for that situation. Because, I mean, unlike other, pre-Donald Trump elections, that must be something you have to lay in as a narrative all night long to your viewers.
Yeah, we've already started.
Yeah.
You have to tell people now, just so you know, just expect it on election day.
Right.
We're probably not going to know who won for several days because of the states that take a long time to count, Pennsylvania, Arizona, et cetera.
That's going to be a chill few days. I'm looking forward to that. I do have a lot more to ask you. We'll be right back with more from Jake Tapper.